Welcome to Well, That Just Happened. I'm your host, Cody Spence.
And I'm your co-host, Mark Hawk.
This is a podcast about, do you want to tell them, Mark?
Yeah, so this is a podcast that takes a look at news stories from around the world.
Some that shock us, some that have us asking what just happened, and some that we just found interesting.
So if you like the show, please subscribe and leave a review.
We're on YouTube and any other podcast platform.
And with that being said, all that's left is, let's see what's happening this season. Well, welcome to season 2 of, That Just Happened.
Welcome.
Alright, so before we get started, I just want to let you guys know, sometimes when we're doing research for stories, we find stuff that even we won't put out.
Yeah, there's some that you just go, oh, no.
Yeah. And, it could be anywhere from pedophiles to, okay, I'll just tell you. One of the stories I found, I'm looking at it, and then it was like, oh, no, I can't put that out. It was a kid who broke both of his arms, and he's younger, teenager, and, Mommy decided to help him out with his primal urges because his arms were broken.
What the fuck?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's just some stories... Yeah, even we're not going to put out there, because it's just, no.
No.
I figured that would get you going.
Not pedophilic incest.
Yeah. See,
no.
I kind of figured that was, just
was it the stepmom, though?
No, it didn't say stepmom, so.
That's, it's still, either way, it's still wrong. It's just, with the porn kinks that are out there, stepmom, stepdad, stepbro.
They're not really the stepmom and stepsister, but it was an actual story, and no. Okay.
I'm still stuck on that. Hold on.
I know.
Because, I want it. Did he ask her? Did she offer? Did she catch him in the act? How did this transpire?
I did not look into detail because I was like, no.
Well, I'm just thinking...
Just the headline alone was enough to make you say, nope, not happening.
I'm thinking as a parent alone, one, I don't want to know my kids do that. Two, I'm not helping anyway. Three, that is the most awkward conversation I could think that you could ever have.
Well, that's what, me and my wife had a conversation about it after it was found, and it was like, you hire a prostitute for your kid or something if you're trying to be nice. But yeah, you don't offer to do that.
No.
But yeah, those are just things that we find that don't make the show for a good reason.
Yeah, I'd say.
Alright. So, I found a really crazy person for you.
Okay.
And it's not from Florida.
Oh.
So this Joe Metheny from Maryland, he killed about 10 people.
Oh.
But I gotta go into his backstory.
Okay.
Alright. So, he was referred to as Tiny, although he was 6'1" and weighed about 450 pounds.
Is that like an ironic nickname?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So, his dad died in a, drunk driving accident when he was 6. He claimed his mom was dead and he suffered from terrible childhood. But his mom's actually alive and denies any neglect. Served in the Army. He said he was in Vietnam, but nobody could prove it. He became a drug addict after his service. He'd been arrested for assault, drunk disorderly conduct, and bar fighting.
Okay.
So, he was working as a truck driver. He said he was working overtime one night. When he came home, his girl ran off, took his 6-year-old son, and went to stay with another man. And he quotes, and I quote him, "She was a crack addict and a worthless piece of shit. I found out about 6 months later she had moved on the other side of town with some asshole that had her out selling her ass for drugs."
Wow.
Okay. So, he claimed she gotten their son taken from her because of his past crimes and had no chance of getting him back from Child Protective Services. So he went looking for her and the man she ran off with. So, he went to a bridge where he thought she might be, found 2 homeless men there. And, again, I quote him, "They were not there," meaning the girl and her man. But these two homeless motherfuckers they got high with were down there. They were passed out on some old stinking mattress, and that's where they were when I left. Except they were dead from being chopped up.
This guy has a very unique way of talking.
Oh, he does. It gets better.
Okay.
I mean, he is. Oh man, I just love this guy. So, all right. He had killed them with an axe. The same night, he tried to get some information from a couple prostitutes. He said he lured the first crack whore, as he called her, under the bridge. He said he got her high. She acted like she didn't know, so I beat the hell out of her and raped her ass. Then I killed her.
Oh my god.
So
Didn't know what?
where the like.
So he's using this as like an interrogation?
Yes, like all he's trying to do is find the girl and the guy she ran off with.
You were going about this all wrong, sir.
Yes. Okay, so he put her in some bushes and lured the second bitch under the bridge. He said he did the same thing to her, but while he was disposing of her body, he saw a fisherman he thought may have seen something. So he grabbed a steel pipe that was near him, ran down, and laid his head wide open, is what he said. So he killed that guy. So, within about 7 hours, he murdered 5 people, weighed down the bodies, and put them all in the river. He then used the river to clean himself off. He cleaned up the crime scene and left. So,
Okay.
he was arrested for the murders, spent about 1.5 years in jail awaiting trial, but was released because lack of evidence.
They killed every witness.
Yeah. So after being released, he went and asked an old boss at a pallet company to give him a job as a forklift driver. Offered to stay there and keep an eye on things. The old boss agreed, gave him some keys, and it was isolated on a dead-end road, so it was perfect for him. He then lured women to the trailer at the pallet company. They were either addicted to drugs, prostitutes, or both. He'd rape and murder them, dismembered them, saving their meat in Tupperware in his freezer, and burying the rest of them behind a pallet company in some woods. Okay.
Wow.
He once dug up one of the bodies after 6 months, decapitated it, then, as he put it, washed out the maggots and made love to it.
Oh my god!
Who does that remind you
Jeffrey Dahmer?
of? Is he the one who had sex with his mom's head?
Oh no, that was Edmund Kemper.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. Alright. So he took the meat from their bodies that he had saved in his freezer, mixed it with some pork and beef, made patties out of it, then served it to people from a roadside barbecue stand on the weekends. He said, human tastes like pork, and if you mix the two together, no one can tell.
Oh my god.
So according to him, everything was going good until I ran out of my special meat. He lured another victim to the trailer. He said when he had her there, started to rip her clothes off and began knocking the hell out of her. He said she started screaming, but no one was around to hear except me, and I just kept laughing at her. So when he turned around for a second, she ran out the door. There was an 8-foot chain link fence with barbed wire on it. There was a stack of pallets beside the fence. According to him, that bitch scaled those pallets like a monkey and jumped the fence. From there, she got a ride to a gas station and called the police. He didn't put up a fight when he was arrested. It's believed he killed 10 people, was sentenced to death, but that was overturned and he was sentenced to 2 life sentences without parole. He died at the age of 62 in his jail cell of natural causes.
Wow.
And, when he was arrested, he said, in the end, the only thing I feel bad about in any of this is I didn't get to murder those 2 motherfuckers I was after. And that's my ex-old lady and the bastard she hooked up with. So the next time you're riding down the road and you happen to see an open pit beef stand that you've never seen before, make sure you think about this story before you take a bite of that sandwich. Sometimes you never know who you may be eating.
Wow.
And he started laughing.
Wow, that's a hell of a PSA.
So, what do you think of him?
You know what? He reminds me of the Picton family a little bit. Which I don't know if you're aware of who the Pictons were, but they were doing the same thing where they were killing people, chopping them up, and putting them in their processed meat because they owned a butcher farm.
I mean,
so apparently, it's more common than what we know.
And you know what? After all the research and everything, could not find out what happened to his wife and kid.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking they probably didn't want to be found.
Oh, probably not.
this whole situation.
No, but I do like the way he talked. I do like the way that he talked.
I figured you would like that.
Okay, so for my stories, um, so do you have any neighbors that are like particular about their grass?
Oh yeah.
Like that has to be cut to a certain length, certain height, whatever.
No, they just do it like every couple days religiously.
Yeah,
Makes us look like crap, you know.
I know that feeling. Every time I mow my grass, I always feel like I'm being judged by my neighbors.
Because you got to rake afterwards because it's so high.
Yeah, I don't do that. Okay. The reason I'm asking, could you imagine somebody being shot over their grass?
What? They get that passionate about it?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So, police barricaded suspect shoots at Fort Worth officers mowers after high grass violation. So the gist of what happened, in Fort Worth, Texas, an individual, um, it doesn't say the guy's name here. Anyway, so what happened? Okay, at Fort Worth, Texas, where this person lives, they have like a neighborhood ordinance thing, like your regulation. You got to be at like this height level for your grass. So there were complaints that this individual's grass was too high. So the police show up, try to enforce the code, and the dude built a barricade, starts shooting at the police officers.
Over, because they were gonna check how high his grass was.
Yeah, he simply was like, "You don't need to worry about my grass." So he's shooting at the officers, and then the SWAT team shows up. So the part that just kind of like blew me away about this whole thing was the dude. All he had to do was mow his grass. That's it.
I mean,
but now he's going to prison for it because he didn't want to mow his grass.
maybe it was where he wanted it.
Well, maybe, but the police officers, no.
Well, maybe the neighbors should mind their own damn business. Some of us just don't have time to go out there every couple of days and cut the damn grass. Or maybe we just don't care. Because it's grass. It
Maybe.
just grows.
Yeah, maybe, but the person is now in custody. It started at 8:30 in the morning, and the dude was in custody by 2:45. So that is a long standoff.
Yeah, it is. Over some grass.
Yeah. So the next story I have comes from Delray Beach down in Florida. So it actually has to do with it's kind of like a feel good story. It's supposed to be. So like if you're a police officer, how are you gonna think like you're gonna get back to the community to try to like make things a little bit better between the police and the citizens?
I mean, if I find somebody with weed, let him keep it. Like a nice guy.
Oh, okay. That's not anywhere close to what this police department did.
Of course not.
Wait, this police department did something to me. It's a little suspect. Like, so what the Delray Beach Police Department did was they got an ice cream truck. They got a police ice cream truck, and they drive around giving out ice cream to like kids and stuff like that.
Now that's a little weird.
Right? I thought.
I mean, they give it away though, right? And they don't charge people. Okay,
Yeah.
I guess that's nice, but police officer or not, isn't that one of the first thing you tell your kids? Is don't take candy from strangers.
Yeah, stay away from strangers. Stranger danger. I don't care if the person's wearing a policeman uniform.
Yeah, because you don't know. Yeah, I mean, what if it's somebody dressing up as a policeman? You're like,
Yeah.
oh, I want my free ice cream. Okay, come in, little boy, get it.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you're handcuffed and your butt hurts and you're in therapy for 10 years.
That's kind of what I was trying to get at, was the fact that it's a little suspect that they're, that's one of the things that predators do, is they do like ice cream trucks or, drive around and give out candy and stuff, and here you are, the police, doing that.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, they're not going to question it.
No.
They're like, oh, I can trust these people. They're in
Yeah, but
uniform.
I'm thinking like predators around there, you're seeing like, oh, they can do it, I can do it too, and that's gonna make the kids more likely to go to it. Like,
Well, yeah. I don't know. It depends on where you grew up. Cause
but dude, it's Florida. This is in Florida.
I get what you're saying, but most people, like, if you see police, I don't care if they're in an ice cream truck, a cop car, I'm not trusting it. I'm
Yeah.
like, they're trying to bust my ass. Like, this is a sting operation. I'm out.
Yeah, I just, like I said, when I read that part, I'm like, that's a little weird. I don't like it. I mean, I understand trying to get back to the community and being nice and all that kind of stuff. It's odd to me. Um,
How about you fix the damn roads with the fines that you get? You know, I guess they don't have as many issues there, but still, like, come on, man.
um, yeah. So, another story that I have. Um, trying to think of how to set this one up for you. Have you have you ever like gone to get off like an escalator or something and think like you just get that fear like, man, I hope my shoelace doesn't get caught in this,
Oh
or
hell yeah, dude! I
yeah,
always step like way early, because I've heard stories and
I've
know.
seen videos. It's pretty messed up.
Yeah, I mean, those things are dangerous. I mean, I do like riding them. Sometimes I'll go in a store just because they have an escalator just to ride
Oh
up,
yeah.
ride down, and leave.
Um, so
Is that considered loitering?
I consider it fun
That's I like escalators.
time. So with this, the reason that I was asking about the escalator thing is because we all know there's things that like open and shut, and get like that kind of just keep revolving. That like revolving doors that to step out of. Um, but one of the areas that I kind of have always thought about, you see it in movies and cartoons, like a school bus. Like getting off the school bus, if somebody were to get shut in the school bus, like what would happen in that case? Um, so the story that I have, um, Allie Rednor, she's 6 years old, was stepping off the Jefferson County Public School bus back on May 15, 2015, when the doors closed on her backpack. The driver, Melinda Sanders, failed to notice what happened and drove off.
How do you not notice that?
Yeah, there's surveillance camera footage, and it shows the child's backpack getting shut in the door, and the driver just continues to drive.
How do you not notice a damn backpack getting caught in the door? It's like right next to you. Look over.
Yeah, you can't tell me you're not hearing the screaming, the sounds, everything. Like you
Did you
said,
not like that kid?
I don't know, man. I watched the surveillance video, and like, it's weird. Like the kid kind of gets to the bottom and just stands there. Like doesn't just start walking. It kind of looks like the kid's just kind of looking around, like where do I go or whatever. But yeah, it shuts on the kid's backpack. Then the bus driver continues to go. But you can actually see the kid being drugged in the surveillance camera.
Oh wow! Did the kid die?
No.
Wow.
Allie was taken to the hospital where doctors said she suffered severe abrasions to 12% of her body and was forced to undergo several surgeries. Sanders was fired back in 2015, but is now on civil trial this week after the girl's mom filed a lawsuit against the driver in 2018, seeking unspecified damages. Probably to get her to pay for like medical expenses and.
Dude, this is a Sue Happy world. They just want money.
I don't know. In that situation,
I would do it too. I'm not gonna lie.
But
I mean, why not?
The next story that I have you ever? I mean, I'm sure you've seen wheelchairs like driving around town. You ever see like one get angry, like a person driving an operating wheelchair, like maybe getting upset and like screaming, yelling?
No.
Yeah, see, I never really have either. And this story, the individual kind of took it to the extreme, and this story involves a person in a wheelchair getting pissed off and ramming someone with their wheelchair.
Oh, that's awesome.
So this.
Wait, is it an old person?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, not only old people's got the wheelchairs.
This story actually comes from Paris. A Paris man gets jail time after repeatedly ramming a car with his motorized wheelchair.
Oh, he rammed a car?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like a person.
No. On Thursday at Lamar County Jail, convicted John Alfred Peterson of criminal mischief to $2,500 to $30,000 in a trial before Judge Bill Harris of the county court at law, according to the first assistant district attorney Benjamin Kamenar. So the defendant used his motorized wheelchair to repeatedly ram a car waiting in the pickup line at the Crockett Intermediate School, causing over $3,000 worth of damage. Kamenar said other parents attended or attempted to intervene, and one recorded the incident on her cell phone.
So wait. They caused that much damage to the vehicle with the wheelchair?
Yeah.
The hell was that wheelchair? Souped up?
I don't know. I imagine Wow. Never mind.
What?
I was gonna say, I imagine the person was using their legs and like kicking too, but if they're in a wheelchair, more than likely they're not using their legs.
You don't know that. I got a wheelchair and I don't need one.
But Peterson also has a record of vandalism and doing stuff like this. So
Wait, the person in the wheelchair has got a record of doing this stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of a dick.
I mean, he's angry. God.
But yeah, the jury's verdict and 1-year sentence showed that our community is sick of Peterson's repeated vandalism and harassment of drivers, said Assistant District Attorney Nick Stallings. Peterson is currently awaiting a hearing to revoke his probation from the 2018 incident and is also awaiting trial on another criminal mischief charge allegedly to have occurred in January 2021.
Oh, jeez, man.
So he has not learned.
I mean, most people don't.
Again, like I said, he's kind of a dick.
I mean, I'm saying I don't know how good of a movie that would be.
I mean, maybe this is could be considered politically incorrect for this, but I don't care if you're in a wheelchair. If you're a dick, I'm still gonna call you a dick.
Well, yeah.
I mean, just because you're in a wheelchair doesn't change that. It doesn't make somebody obviously a good person at that point. An a-hole in a wheelchair is still an a-hole.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because it relates to a different situation, you know. Because if a normal person does that, you're gonna call him a dick.
Yeah.
If a person in a wheelchair does it, you're gonna call him a dick. And that's the way I feel about men and women. Like, you know, you should be able to say the same shit to a man that you can a woman because you're not supposed to discriminate or profile or any of that stuff. So, like, you know, if you make a derogatory remark to a male and you make one to a female, why is it sexual harassment when you say it to the female if you said the same thing to the male? I just don't understand. Just saying.
That's
equal opportunity.
Okay.
Don't discriminate.
You can get off your soapbox now.
All right.
Let's do the wrap up.
Okay.
In our weekly wrap up, we discuss some of our personal opinions and ideas. So let's see what we thought this week.
Okay.
Alright, so time for the wrap up. What do you want to talk about?
Okay, first of all, I feel like not only should the bus driver have got fired, I mean, there should have been like criminal charges pressed against her for that incident. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
If there is a child hanging out the bus door and the backpack's trapped in there, you tell me you can't hear like the road better and you don't feel the air coming off. I mean, come on, man. That's
and it was a couple blocks that she drove that the kid was drugged behind.
Yeah, that's not right at all. I do not see how you would not notice that.
Not a clue.
I'm thinking it was a bad kid on the bus. I know they're only 6, but you know how they get annoying. And she was probably like, I'm going to teach you a lesson right now.
But like I said, I watched the surveillance footage, and the bus driver never once looked over to see if the kid got off the bus. Opens up the door, still looking out the window. The kid walks off, and then door shuts, and away she goes.
That's crazy. Oh, man. That's a horrible bus driver.
Absolutely.
I would never want her to transport my kids.
Well, it's a good thing she got fired.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so is there a story that you want to touch on?
Well, the one thing I want to touch on, I don't want to go back into it, just because that thing right off the beginning about the teenager. I'm not. No, I like I told you earlier. I
mean, the mom should have not touched that one either.
Yeah, I could have. I could have spent probably 15 minutes just on my soapbox on that.
Yeah.
But that is a look to. There are stories that we come across that are just like, no.
There's been a few more. Like, I didn't know it, but there's a lot of bestiality websites out there that have like 5-10 million views. Like, people just watching people have sex with animals.
That's so wrong. But I guess one of the other stories is your serial killer guy. I'm surprised I haven't heard that person's name before.
I mean, Big Joe, man, but they call him Tiny.
That's a big dude. 450 pounds?
man. 6'1".
Wow.
You should see his picture. Like, I actually don't have the picture, which is nuts. I should have that.
What was his name?
Joe... what's his name?
Because, if anything, I'll Google him after this.
Joe Metheny.
Joe Metheny. Alright. I'm going to have to Google that person.
Just call him Joe Meth.
Joe Meth. Did some stuff like he was on meth.
Now, do you feel bad that he didn't find his ex?
You know, oddly enough, I do feel bad. I mean, because he seemed like he had a goal, and he didn't get to reach his goal. Now, he shouldn't have killed anybody. Make sure that's very clear. However, he even said that was his big regret. I mean, you don't want to leave life.
Can you imagine, though, if you bought one of his sandwiches from his roadside stand, and then you're sad when they go away, and then you find out what you had been eating?
Yeah.
Does that make you want to go out and be a cannibal?
I think that's opens up a big self-reflection at that point. Because you're like, that was the tastiest sandwich I've ever had.
I would think, to me, personally, if it's something I liked a whole bunch,
yeah,
I would probably contemplate, eating someone.
Yeah.
Just saying. If it's a good sandwich, it's a good sandwich. Sometimes...
I mean, we don't know what all's in McDonald's. We don't know what all's in, like, Arby's and Wendy's, like, all their different kind of meats and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, especially with Arby's, they just say we have the meats. They don't say what kind.
Yeah.
I mean...
I love Arby's, though. Arby's good. I'm just saying. They can come out tomorrow and be like, hey, there's been people in it. Alright, I guess I'm a cannibal now because it was pretty delicious.
I've always said, if it's meat, I'll try it. You know what I mean?
So you'll try a human?
Yeah, I would. If you cook them right. I mean, just season it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, I would have to say it would... you don't want a fatty human. You find like one of them muscly people and cut them up.
Oh, the nice lean meat.
Yeah,
Do you think
you wouldn't want to eat me because it'd just be a bunch of gristle?
Do you think humans are? Do you think that would they be a white meat, dark meat? What do you think?
I don't know.
Huh.
It's probably like a turkey. You get both.
Yeah.
It just depends on where you cook up. But I would do it. I don't care. Cannibals don't bother me. There you go again.
The yawning. Dude, I'm telling you, I can't help it. And it's like I talk too much and don't breathe properly.
You ought to get that looked at.
I actually am. I have to go get the EKG on my lungs. I had to go do breathing tests and stuff. Before we went to video, you never knew about how bad the yawning was.
That's true.
Yeah,
so he's not tired or bored. He just doesn't know how to breathe.
No, I get out of breath when I talk.
Slow.
A little bit. So, the only other story I guess I really want to touch on real quick before we wrap this up is the a-hole in the wheelchair.
Why do you gotta say a-hole?
Because the guy was a dick.
Okay, but...
I'm standing by the... Alright, so this is a consistent thing that's happened, and one of the things, like, if you're in a motorized wheelchair and you get that angry, you can drive away.
Yeah, well, and how do you do damage to a car? That still baffles me. Because I know, like, the electric wheelchairs I see, like, you're just gonna hurt yourself.
I imagine kind of like an RC car backs up really far and then just goes full bore in, but it keeps coming out. Like, I don't know. That story to me was just so interesting because of that factor. How much damage could he have possibly done that was $2,500 to $30,000?
Yeah, well,
I mean, it was $30,000 or $3,000 was how much damage he did, but his fine is worth $2,500 to $30,000.
I don't know. I was wondering too. Like, do you think he picked up like one of his bum legs and was like throwing it at the window?
Oh, absolutely,
like that. Yeah,
absolutely. I feel like he was using it as a battering ram.
Oh yeah,
I would.
I mean, if it ain't gonna hurt you,
yeah. I mean, he only needs one hand to control the wheelchair.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess that's true.
He can be doing like a football dance thing move. I don't know.
I would love to see video of someone in a wheelchair doing something like that, ramming a car, and I think I would just laugh at it.
We'll have to get on YouTube.
Now, what do you think of my PSA? Like, you agree or disagree?
Which PSA?
About the, treating men and women equally. Are we not touching that one?
I will say this, that I speak the same way to a woman and to a male the same.
Yeah, what this is what should be.
Yeah.
So society just needs to quit.
I feel like there's
soapbox.
I feel like there's a specific case that you are referring to.
No, in general.
Okay.
All right, but that's our wrap up for this week. So, as we've said before plenty of times, please like and subscribe, and till next time.
Don't eat anybody.
Why?
Unless it's good and tasty. I don't know.
That's what I say. All right.
And next time you're at the what was that guy's statement? Next time you go to that
roadside barbecue place,
you never know what you're gonna eat.
That's or who you're gonna eat.
Oh, that's disgusting. Well, that just happened.
If you like what you heard, tune in next week to see what else we find.
Also, please leave a review, a like, and subscribe.
If there's something you think is interesting and would like us to address, then reach out to the show and let us know.
We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, pretty much anywhere you want to reach us.
And with that being said, this concludes our episode of Well, That Just Happened.